One morning, Fergus was in his shed. He was feeling very upset. His favourite place, the cement works, had finally closed down. And no matter what he did, his drivers could not make him feel any better. "Cheer up, Fergus. There's plenty of places on Soda where you can be the pride of," he said. "Let's go do some shunting on the docks. You like the docks, don't you?" Fergus said nothing, as his driver pulled the lever and they set off for the docks. But while Fergus was shunting at the docks, Salty noticed he looked very upset. "Something's troubling him," sighed Salty. Everywhere that Fergus worked, he never seemed happy. But the engines all noticed that he took a great interest in coaches for some reason. The Fat Controller was watching Fergus as he worked. He then had an idea, so the Fat Controller went to see Fergus. "Fergus," he said, "I have an important task for you to do for me. I am building a new wildlife centre at the bottom of Gordon's Hill. It'll be for tourist attractions, for wild animals to stay, and also to get engines to stop going so fast down that hill. Your first task will be to pick up lumberjacks from Kirkronan to cut down some trees. You'll also be taking logs away on flatbeds. After that, you'll be in charge of the main build. What do you say, Fergus?" "Sounds wonderful, sir," said Fergus. "Can't wait." He set off happily to Kirkronan's station. He backed onto the coaches and was ready to go. James noticed that Fergus's face lit up when he coupled to the coaches, but there was no time to question why. Fergus was setting off for the bottom of Gordon's Hill. Fergus arrived quickly at the bottom of Gordon's Hill, and soon Fergus was taking the logs away. Everyone was soon ready to begin work. Fergus's next job was to bring the supplies, and he brought supplies every day for the next few months. The platform was coming along nicely. Fergus kept the supplies coming, and Donald and Douglas took it in turns to bring workmen back and forth from the work sites. And before long the platform was finished. All that was left to do now was to build a shelter where visitors would be able to look at the animals without getting hurt. A few days later, Fergus arrived to collect the empty trucks. They had just been unloaded, and all the goods were now on the platform, ready to be used by the workmen. Excited with the project, Fergus set off. But the trucks were too tall for Fergus to see over, and he didn't see the danger ahead. Up ahead was a red signal, but Fergus couldn't see it. To add to that, Douglas was taking workmen to the building site. As he rounded the corner, he could see the vans in front. "Hold your wish," he cried. But it had all happened too fast. Fergus pushed his vans, then Douglas smashed into them at the junction. Fergus was upset. He was even more upset when the Fat Controller arrived. He stood on the truck in front of Fergus. "Don't worry, Fergus," he sighed. "The accident wasn't your fault. You couldn't see over the vans." "I'm sorry, sir," said Fergus sadly. "Harvey and the breakdown train will come and help you," said the Fat Controller. He then looked down at a small blue van, part of the accident. Soon the mess was cleared up thanks to Harvey and the breakdown train, but Fergus felt no happier. "If I were you, I'd take those battered trucks to the works," said Douglas. Fergus puffed sadly away. All his happiness from his hard work had gone, and he is now back to being very miserable. A few months later, the Wildlife Centre was completed. There was even a window in the back, so the passengers could see out and look at the animals from a safe distance. There were lots of animals there. There was an elephant, a giraffe, a camel, a lion, and a zebra. A deer had crept over to the platform to join the celebration. The Fat Controller and Lady Hat declared the new wildlife centre open, and all the workmen cheered. But Fergus was still feeling unhappy. The Fat Controller held his hand in the air for silence. "This is a magnificent wildlife centre you have built," said the Fat Controller. "But there is one individual who needs a special thank you. He has proven great dedication to make sure this wildlife centre is built in time for the holiday makers. And that engine is Fergus." "Me?" gasped Fergus as everybody clapped and cheered. "But what about my accident, sir?" he asked. "All the hard work and dedication you have shown outweighs the one tiny accident you've had," said the Fat Controller. "Tell me, Fergus, what is your dream?" "My dream, sir," said Fergus. "Well, to pull passengers, I suppose." "Just what I thought," said the Fat Controller. "Douglas," he called. Douglas steamed in, pulling what to Fergus seemed just like an ordinary blue van. "Wasn't this part of the accident, sir?" Fergus asked. "It was indeed," said the Fat Controller. "After you had brought the vans to the works for mending, I spoke with Jem Cole and asked him to convert it into a coach." "A coach, sir?" said Fergus, his eyes wide with wonder. "Exactly, Fergus," said the Fat Controller. Fergus didn't know what to say, so he just blew his whistle loudly, and Donald and Douglas joined in, and the workmen cheered again. Fergus is very happy with his new coach. He takes passengers everywhere in it. But Fergus loves it most when he pulls passengers to the wildlife centre. But it's not just called the wildlife centre anymore. The Fat Controller named it after Fergus. And so Fergus's wildlife centre it will always be.